Today we speak about insecurity, which, unlike self-esteem, insecurity is something that needs to be dissolved as it has to do with fear. So security comes from the soul and fear comes from the ego. So a victim of the ego, and we are all victims of the ego, can spend its life searching for security without ever finding it, because the ego will always feel threatened, because it's a principle to separate the whole from the individual within being trapped in fear. So beyond the deceptive principle of I, who are you? You are everything and nothing. So we are the instinct but not separate. We are everything that we see and we experience, the tree, nature, the waterfall, flowers, and also multiple parts of the one. So what is security? The security that comes from the ego, as I said, is fear. So what people call insecurities are the voice of the soul calling the consciousness to overcome the ego, asking the consciousness to come out of the prison of the mind and of the ego. So the problem is that from inside the cage where we are, the calls of the soul sound like discomforts, illnesses, disturbances, problems. That is why we have to have the strength to transcend, to go over and feel that all our difficulties, our problems, our illnesses, in truth, they are our greatest opportunity, our greatest asset, because they are the call of these insecurities that comes from inside the cage. But what are we insecure about? Some people complain about their insecurity in general, saying that they often let themselves be carried away by the opinion of others, so they don't have their own opinion, and just let themselves be taken away by events, but what's happening around them. So they are not able to impose their own will, or they are even uncertain about what they really want. So what does it mean? Who is the one? Who is the other one? The one who would have this power to drag you along? And what are the events, these happenings that are able to carry yourself away? So events are entities, spirits, gods, goddesses. They are an element of the divine. They are a representation of the divine, because the divine comes through images. Of course, in the nowadays psychology of the supermarket, as we can define it, they tell us that we have to have our own will, that we have to impose our own will, the fact is, the question is, what do you really want your life to be about? If you are really here on a mission for the soul, then the fact is that you don't need to want what you want. You don't need to try to realize what you want, but what the spirits, what the universe, what the divine wants, what the great mother wants. So we need to put our soul into the hands of the soul of the world, of the soul of the divine. And only by doing that, we see things from a different perspective. So we are not trapped inside what is happening to us. And we see every happening as an expression of the divine. So we live feeling ourselves at service of the universe. So what are we here for? What are our skills and gifts that we have gained throughout life, that we have received by our birth for? They are just simply tools that we need to use to help others, being entirely detached. So not allowing ourselves to see that is our ego that will save the world. But we are just vehicles. As I always say, we are just tools of the divine, Otherwise, in the moment we see ourselves identified with the happenings, with what is coming to us, then we become a victim. Because then when the event is not pleasant, instead of accepting that this is what the universe wants, we simply become a victim, and we feel that this event is not right for us, that there is not an element of justice, and so we just overcome what's happening.